Hey now, everybody, and welcome back to the Score More podcast, a special Score More podcast. We're live here on Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. It's morning time. It's FSK football practice. It's the first day of fall sports. 3 words: Happy New Year. Michael Duffy, Supervisor of Athletics, Carroll County Public Schools. This day is the day like no other on the sports calendar. Welcome back, and what's the mood like today?
It's exciting. Hope springs eternal. Everybody's starting out, at ground zero and excited for the season. And, this is kind of, as you mentioned, Happy New Year. Yeah. It really is it's our athletics New Year, and it's an exciting time. So, we're pretty excited about this. The heat has returned after about a week and a half or 2 weeks of cooler temperatures and less humidity. It's kicking back in. So teams are definitely going to be feeling it. Yeah,
I'm going to be a little shiny today as we're here in front of the cameras, our video component of the Score More podcast. And we talk about views. You and I have talked about being out at the 7 schools in Carroll County.
Yeah.
This one's a special view. This one is definitely pastoral Carroll County. As we sit here, you can see behind us the Francis Scott Key football team practicing. But out beyond our cameras, Michael and I have a fantastic view of just the hills of Uniontown, Union Bridge area. You'll be at as many of these schools in the next few weeks as you can.
Absolutely.
And we will too as we get ready for the 2025 fall season. When we talk a little bit about today, we're going to have some special guests come visit us here today. That's why we have a third chair here open, but stay tuned for that as we go along here. But today is the first day of, like we said in our previous episodes, you can't get to the next couple seasons until you start with this one. What's different about today just in terms of preparation, getting ready, getting the fields ready? I think we got a lot of time now between now and the first day of the game, which is September 5th,
right,
as we see it on August 13th. But what is so special about this day in terms of that preparation?
It's really the culmination of the entire off season. Teams are doing certain work over the summer,
right,
and this just kind of brings it all together and gives them, they're having their final fitness tests over the last few days, and then starting today, it's real. Suddenly everything matters. Team selection is going to be over the next couple days for so many of the schools and so many of the teams. But today it really is about, it's kind of this, concept approaching today. But once, that first Wednesday of practice, which this year, obviously August 13th, comes, it really is, hey, we're here. Let's putting in all the effort, gearing up for the season, which is going to start in just over 3 weeks. And it really, as far as regular season game contest, and it really is just, there's an extra energy we've mentioned on multiple times. There's an exuberance. You can see it among the students. You can see it among the coaches.
We've already heard it here this morning.
Yeah, it really is. It's a fun time.
It is, yeah, and it seems like it's going to be right around the corner. But again, 3 weeks basically between now 20 days, right? You get 20 days required.
20 days plus, especially in the fall season because we deal with heat acclimatization. Yeah,
right, which is probably happening today.
Yep.
But again, Michael and I talk about how fast everything goes, and it'll come before you know it. September 5th, that is, but there's still 3 weeks to get ready, and it's been a culmination of the entire off season. You mentioned, teams are allowed to organize team activities.
Yeah.
Coaches there and not there, depending on what the activity is.
There's some summer leagues.
For football, there was 7-on-7 passing league, like you said, summer leagues. All that is to get ready for today. There's nerves associated with today, not only for the athletes and the coaches and the moms and dads who are hoping their kids make the team and this and that, but good nerves, right? Good anticipation about what lies ahead over the next 3 weeks. And ADs as well. I would think just getting their school ready to go again. You met with the ADs yesterday at your preseason meeting. What do you hope that they're doing to try to get themselves ready as well as the coaches and the athletes do too?
Well, our ADs just do an outstanding job of setting the tone of expectations for our coaches and for our students, and they really are the leaders in the athletic departments in their schools. And what their job to do is to ensure that fair tryout for everybody, to ensure that our teams have the necessary equipment and supplies they're going to need, that everybody's following through on protocols and procedures. But they're the boots on the ground at each and every school. And, it is a thankless job, but it is it's a very important job at each school to ensure that everything is handled appropriately. And the ADs I can't speak highly enough of the work they put in for this.
3 new ones this fall.
Yeah.
You'll see her on campuses this year. Jim Regal at Westminster, also going to be coaching boys soccer for the Owls. He's taking over for Brian Tomes at Westminster as AD. Bernie Kuntz, speaking of football or coaches, football coach at Man Valley, Bernie Kuntz will be handling the AD duties as well. Liz Paget left for different position, a different state. We wish Liz well too. Brian Tomes went to back to Liberty to coach and teach there, and then Sam Rothstein, the new AD at Liberty. We had Ed Vincent on as a guest. He retired, and so Sam, former standout athlete at Century High School, comes back now to Carroll County as an AD. So, as you had that meeting yesterday, I won't ask you about all the ins and outs, but just for some of the things you wanted to part wisdom-wise to the new ones. And then Bernie's been around a long time.
Certainly.
Jim Regal around a long time.
Yes.
Sam's the newer person here in the group. Of course, Ashley Hoyt at Century, Tim Novotny at South Carroll, Jen Goslin at Winters Mill. And who am I missing somebody?
Yeah, Mr. Kimball
that's
here.
right, who we're going to see here in a minute. Sorry, Mr. Kimball. Ryan Kimball and Francis Scott Key. They're the veterans of the group.
Right.
Jim Regal and Bernie Kuntz have obviously been around and know the drill. They've actually also maybe acted as ADs in certain situations. What do you want the 3 of them to kind of know as we go forward here?
Know that they've got a support system. They've got outstanding administrators at their schools, but they also have the other athletic directors available to provide guidance, provide that mentorship, which is so key in our jobs. Nobody truly understands the job of the athletic director other than the athletic director. There's only 7 in the entire county.
Right.
There's principals at every single level. Mm-hmm. There's assistant principals, multiples at each school, especially at the high school level. But there's only one athletic director at each school. So it really is a small cadre. It's a very small fraternity of people, but making sure that they rely on each other because they understand the job as no one else does. And what I always advise them is we always think our number one priority, which I also emphasize with coaches, our number one priority every single time is safety. And as we talk about the heat, we talk about the first day of practices, ensuring that what we're doing is keeping safety at the forefront of our plans and our minds.
Right.
And our athletic directors are just outstanding at maintaining the focus on that.
Yeah, and I mentioned, Ryan Kimball will hopefully be sitting here in a few minutes. We can talk to him about just what the first day means to him, too. It is about keeping people safe. You and I have been around for a while now on the first day. We've had worse first days. It's not terrible out here, but we were just talking before we started. It's been so nice the last 10 days or so.
Yeah, it really
Humidity
has.
way down low. Nice to be outside. Not terrible today. It was definitely hazy and overcast.
It's returning.
It's returning. A little hazy and overcast about an hour or so ago. Now the sun has broken through the clouds. So again, you might see a little glisten on my my bald head here. But I know the guys behind us are working hard too. Let's talk about what Carroll County did last year in the fall leading into this year. One of the more successful falls in recent memory in terms of state championships. Obviously, there's county championships to be had, individual accolades.
Certainly.
But some teams did very well last year in 2024 in the fall.
Yeah, we were real fortunate. Carroll County teams won 4 state MPSSAA championships last fall. Liberty boys and girls soccer swept the 1A soccer championships for the second year in a row. South Carroll golf won the 2A 1A state championship.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first time in school history, Manchester Valley field hockey won the state championship.
And went undefeated as well.
And went undefeated, so won the 2A state championship. I want to make sure I give the correct acknowledgement for Coach Janine Kuntz and now retired Coach Janine Kuntz.
Went out on top. That's right. Congratulations to Janine.
It was a very, very successful fall season as far as state championships. But, we don't just judge our programs based on state championships. We really look at what are we doing to help our students grow and improve. And I think in that respect, it was an incredibly successful fall.
Yeah, there were definitely individual success stories. Cross-country runners had great years.
Yes.
Soccer players had tremendous years with goals and assists. I know it's not just about that, but that they're showcasing their talents on the field.
Right.
You had a Liberty football team make it as far as they've ever, or to the state quarters, I should say.
Correct.
They've been there before, but it's been a while since they got that far. We saw, I'm thinking of just the Tristan West at Liberty, who had a sensational year. Jack Hitchcock had one of their all-time rushing days of all time for Westminster High School in the Week 9 against Winters Mill, one of the all-time county records. Just those sort of things along the way.
Yes.
And some of those guys are back. Some of them have graduated. Goes back to what we were getting at first. Today is the first day where they can get back on the field and sort of lean on what they did a year ago if they had a good season, and also the newcomers coming in. Even some ninth graders out there, 14, 15-year-old student athletes, trying to make a name for themselves, and it'll be fun to see those young individuals, girls and boys, what they can become in 3-4 years' time when they're young men and women at that point. It all starts on a day like today.
It really does, and it'll be interesting to see because we can have our opinions of what is going to happen, but the storylines are going to play out for themselves over the next few months, and we'll have a much what we think may occur. We could be way off.
Sure.
So it's exciting to see how the storylines really will play out through the fall season.
And some of those state championship teams didn't win county titles, so it's about what they could do after that. If you're a reigning state champion and all these teams have graduated certain players along the way, some more than others. We'll get into those storylines as the season goes on. Does today have a little bit of a added bonus of, okay, today's the first day that our quote-unquote title defense can begin? If that a mindset now, you think as a coach, you've been a coach of teams that have won championships and stuff, and what do you do to defend? We get it. We want to be playing our best at the end of the year as opposed to the early in the year. You want to figure things out. We talked about all that too on previous podcast episodes. But again, I think I would feel today you walk onto the field for the first time if you played on that team last year. All right, now we can get down to business in terms of defending that title.
Yeah, I think, and the coach's job is to bring the mindset of we're starting at zero, we're not defending anything. That was a different team. That was a different season. That was different opponents. And it very likely was a different classification, different regions, all because they changed this year. So the important focus is to say, all right, everyone's at zero. And what do we need to do to get ourselves to where we want to be? And, from a student-athlete mindset, it certainly, I think it oftentimes plays into the defense of a title. But I think our coaches do a really good job of keeping the focus on, all right, last year we weren't champions, with the exception of South Carroll Golf, but the other three teams were not champions in 23.
Sure.
Before winning in 24.
That's correct, right.
So they had to start from zero and get themselves, to the top of the podium.
To a level, yeah.
And right now, their mindset is more than likely focused on, okay, we need to be hungry. Mm-hmm. One of the things I used to use as a mantra with our students was happy, not satisfied. You can be happy with results, but never satisfied. And coaches, I think, who maintain that mindset, really a lot more success.
Yeah. I think I see Mr. Kimball standing on the side here. We'll bring him over here. He's navigating his way through the first day of high school. Technically, it's the first day of practice, but it's also more called the tryouts, right? This is the tryout period.
Yes.
A couple days before teams make official cuts, and then put their rosters together. And come on in, Mr. Ryan Kimball. I saved the seat for you. It's warm.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you know that. There's your microphone right there. We got Ryan Kimball, athletic director at Francis Scott Key. Happy New Year to you. Welcome in.
Did you just forget me? Did I hear that?
What did I say? Oh, I did
when
forget
you. Were going
you.
to the
Yeah,
athletic directors. Did I hear that?
Did. I'm sorry. I apologize.
But I did remember you.
I appreciate you, Mr. Duffy.
What does today mean? You heard us maybe talking about it. Just why is today so special in terms of in the life of the athletic director and here at Francis Scott Key for you?
I mean, since the day that seasons ended last fall, these kids, these coaches have been looking forward to, preparing for this day. And right now, everybody is fresh with their thoughts, and we're just excited to compete. Everyone's 0-0, and we're going to do our best to compete as best as we can and grow and get better.
Teams had success at Francis Scott Key throughout the season, and we can talk later about your girls basketball team winning that state title. But fall teams were good, and this team behind us had a playoff victory at the end of the season. Had a good season. Maybe that again, like talk about storylines. We didn't have Francis Scott Key in a certain spot at some point, but they certainly got themselves to a spot. How excited do you think these guys are? We're going to hopefully talk to Coach Dave Cunningham in a moment or two, but these guys have some things to prove in 2025.
Yeah, I'm so proud of Coach Cunningham and the young men in our program. He's built a great staff. The culture of the program has grown every year. He does things the right way as far as building relationships with kids. And last year was special, I think, for our football program. We hadn't had success the 2 years before. Mm-hmm. But they competed so hard last year. They were in so many close games. Even the playoff game we lost at Middletown.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
I think we shocked them with the way we moved the ball on offense.
The lead.
Jake Etzler as a sophomore quarterback was amazing, and he is working his tail off to be a leader for this team as a junior. We lost some key pieces last year. We lost some skill set, and we lost some linemen, but they worked so hard in the spring, in the summer, through 7-on-7s, and I'm excited to see, what they have coming this year.
Yeah. What do you got for Mr. Kimball?
No, for you as the athletic director, athletic administrator here at the school at Francis Scott Key, what is day one like as far as your preparation?
What time were you here?
What time are you getting up? What time are you running around? I know the time you've put in, checking to ensure that students are properly registered, making sure coaches have done everything they need to do to be ready, making sure supplies are prepared. This is almost, okay, now you're here. I don't want to say it's almost a relief, but, what is your mindset coming into today?
Well, you spend, throughout the summer, you keep your registrations up, make sure kids are approved, make sure you're sending emails to coaches and to athletes and to parents, making sure that they know what they need to do to be ready for this day. Our community is the absolute best, but I would say late registration is a common theme. So the last 3 days I've been updating registrations, and I was up at 5 this morning to check, to add all the new registrations, to run day one tryout sheets for our coaches to make sure they know who's approved to go, who's not approved to go. But you get here, you grab all of the physicals from kids that had held them and not put them on Family ID, and then a sigh of relief, and you go stand in the corner and you watch your coaches do what they do best, and you watch your kids work hard, and that's fun, because for a lot of years I did all the collecting of physicals and then day one of tryouts, trying to make everything great as a coach. But as an athletic director, you do your work beforehand, and then you just get to watch the coaches and the kids do their thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. And 5 a.m. beat me by a little bit. You might have been up around that same time. You guys get up earlier than
he had already run like 3 miles by 5 a.m.
6:30 for me. I'm not trying to keep score, but that's early for me.
You're trying to keep score. You're CMSportsNet.
Oh, that's true. Hey, I like that one. That's good. And this is the Score and
and
More
more,
podcast,
yes.
of course. The paperwork stuff obviously is definitely the required part of the gig, and maybe not the most fun, but it seems like I've gotten this from other ADs, and we've been here on first days and other places, that today sort of brings that enthusiasm to you. You mentioned a fresh start, so did Michael a few minutes ago, but you coached, you played, now you're administrating here at Francis.
I did not play well. So.
You played. Just, do you remember the times of that same feeling? You know what these guys were feeling on that very first day.
Yeah, watching Coach Cunningham, he's got a lot of nervous energy beforehand, and wants everything to be perfect, and he beat me up to school today. Like, I was up early, but he beat me up to school today trying to make sure everything's perfect, and he's running around like doing everything and nervous energy, and then it hits and he gets in front of the kids, and he's
coach.
He's coach, and he's cool.
yeah.
Like, he gets it, and he communicates with them in a way that fires them up. So watching that happen is amazing. I miss aspects of that as far as being a coach, but there's also something great about – I've learned more about coaching in 4 years of being an AD than I ever learned as a coach, watching the different ways that you can get it done, and watching all the great coaches that we have at FSK and around the county and how they conduct themselves. It's a great way to learn as a coach.
Yeah, and it all starts today. Again, here we are, the first day of practice. We were talking about views, and you've been in all the counties before, but you ever get tired of this pretty nice view here at Francis Scott Key?
No offense to anyone else around the county, but we have the best views. When the sun's going down, the lights come on at FSK Stadium. There is no better stadium in the county or in the region, and this place is just amazing. I get to drive to work 10 minutes through sheep farms to get to my school, and I love it.
Yeah, it's one of the cooler places. I mean, people say, it's way out there. It's not that far away from Westminster,
it's
really.
10 minutes from Westminster. I live in Westminster City. I get here 12 minutes. I didn't break any speeding laws this morning.
See, there you go. Take it from Mr. Kimball. I know you got a busy day ahead of you here. I'm going to let you go, but just you want to temper the excitement because you don't want to be all gung-ho on the first day, and obviously the first day carries something different. But once we get into September and the games get going, what do you think Francis Scott Key sports fans are going to see? And again, it's not just football. It's boys soccer, girls soccer. There's golf athletes out there, cross country, field hockey, and volleyball. It's all going to be going toward – everyone's trying to win a championship and do well and succeed, but the Eagles are going to be competing at a certain level.
We've built some nice depth in some sports that we haven't had depth in before. Cross country, we have a great young group of core runners. Our golf team, I'm very excited about. We have a great sophomore player named Chase Harding and some other young men that have worked hard for that. Our field hockey program is a gold standard program. Yeah, our boys soccer program lost a lot to graduation, but there's a lot of young talent, and our girls soccer team has been working extremely hard. Cheer team is amazing, and I'm excited for our volleyball coach who's in her second year and is building a program that we can be proud of. So, there's a lot of good things happening here, and I'm just excited to see how it unfolds this fall.
Good luck this fall. Everybody stay healthy and safe, and we'll see you at some point along the line.
Thank you, Mr. Setzer, and thank you for everything you do for Carroll County Public Schools sports.
No problem, man. Ryan Kimball, AD Francis Scott Key. Lay that down softly there. Good job. He's off to go be administrator again. Thanks for Ryan for stopping by, and hopefully we'll get Coach Cunningham here in a moment or two and one of his players. Just hearing from the ADs like that.
Yes.
That's you don't drill into them what to say and what to do, but
no.
That's sort of what you have come to expect and appreciate from Carroll County.
No, absolutely. And Ryan's a perfect example. He lives and breathes Francis Scott Key. He's been here at the school forever. But as far as
you said that, not me.
Yeah, it's true. As the athletic administrator here, he's been there now. This is his fourth year, and he has such an outstanding perspective of the importance of high school sports and how it plays into the overall educational experience for our students. And he drills that into his coaches, and he drills it into his students, and he is a perfect representation of what our athletic directors do. Yeah. It really is about, they're the front line. They're preaching and showing our philosophy of our education athletics program. And Ryan really just does an outstanding job working with his coaches to ensure our kids just have a great experience. And this is where it starts.
No, absolutely. And that brought me to something else I was going to ask, and that made me think of it. So it's a trickle-down effect. You talk to the ADs. The ADs impart things to the to the coaches, and then the coaches have their meet the coaches night,
right?
So that the parents who are interested want to come out. My roundabout question was the parents. So you don't stand in front of the parents as a group and tell them what to say and what not to say and things like that, or what to expect. But what do you want parents to expect from Carroll County Public Schools when it comes to the sporting events? Obviously you and I talk a lot about sportsmanship, and handling yourselves. Does it start on day one? Obviously, expectations build and things like that, but what do you want them to know as we get ready for another new season here in Carroll County?
Well, I think the most important thing for parents to keep in mind is our programs are not professional sports. They're not collegiate sports. No, it's not. It's crazy. But we're an extension of the classroom. This is a classroom right behind us. That's a classroom where our coaches are teaching right now. It's not the traditional classroom setting, but it really is. We provide an educational experience that can't be replicated in another classroom environment. And in other classes, let's take calculus for example.
Oof.
When students are learning calculus, and the teacher's doing the instruction, and they have a test, no one shows up to watch students take the test. However, for the football team, the coaches are going to do the instruction. They're going to practice what they've done over time. They're going to do their homework, and they're going to demonstrate what they've learned. And when the test comes, that's their first test, real test, is going to be September 5th.
Yeah, we're all going to watch it.
Correct. And September 5th, Francis Scott Key is going to head out to Washington County and go to Smithsburg, and they're going to take on the Leopards for football. So what that's going to show is that is their test. That's the test for the classroom. It's the exact same thing, and it's a different environment. It's a different setting, but this is our opportunity for students to grow and learn football, but learn life skills too. And I think as long as we can keep that perspective, I think we're doing a really good job for our athletics programs.
And maybe sportsmanship, is not something that you harp on to the administrators. There's an expectation. I'm not saying harp on it in a negative way,
absolutely.
but setting that standard.
Yes.
And then again, you hope that trickles down. it's been overall positive thing the last couple of years, and you strive for it. We've talked a lot about it on the podcast.
I really think so. It has. I really think we've put an emphasis on sportsmanship and treating our opponents with respect, treating officials with respect. Really respecting the sport that we're playing, respecting the opportunity, because students only get 4 seasons to play high school sports. They get 4 years to do this at most.
Yeah.
So it really relishing that opportunity, focusing on the positives of it, but respecting everybody who's put in time to make it happen. The coaches have put in countless hours over the summer. The athletic directors, as Mr. Kimball was explaining, putting in hours upon hours to check registrations, to ensure coaches have all the supplies they need. So we need our coaches to respect that. We need our students to respect that, and parents too. And I really think sportsmanship comes down to that more than anything else. It is about respect of the environment, respect of the game.
Yeah, no doubt. And you've mentioned in the last 2 years, I guess this will be year 2, correct?
Yes.
Of the Superintendent's Cup.
Yes.
And again, we talk more about that, and we talked about it before, but their sportsmanship is a huge component of
Absolutely.
that.
It is one of the 4 pillars.
Yeah. And you and I talked in a recent episode about the MPSSA put out its annual year-end recap.
Correct.
And in terms of that sort of thing, Carroll County was one of the 2 schools mentioned as good sportsmanship. And it's not just about shaking hands after the game and saying good job. It's about how you handle yourself. Every year the MPSA at the end of each state championship season has a sportsmanship award team. Carroll County has won that in years past.
Just last year, field hockey did.
That's correct. So it comes and goes. And yes, you want teams to win. Yes, you want them
Certainly.
to be good. But that little thing, I used to always look at that too and say, oh, hey, that's 27 other, 26 other jurisdictions that could win, and Carroll County's team won it. It's not just because, we'll give it to them because they were here and they lost the game the game before. It means something, right?
No, it absolutely is. And I think the important thing is winning the game the right way. Winning it in a sportsmanlike manner is such a key important thing.
Right. I think we got some guests coming over. Who wants to go first? We got room for one at a time. All right, Coach
Awesome.
Cunningham. Coach Dave Cunningham, practice just ended. He's going to come join us here at Score More Podcast as we're live here from Francis Scott Key. Have a seat, Coach. Good.
We're great.
Good.
How are you? Good to see you.
David Cunningham. Pick that up, my friend. How was the first day? We just started. Happy New Year to you. And there's always something different about the first day. What's it feel like to you?
This is probably the best first day I've had since, this is my full season, the best first day I've had. All of the kids that are seniors now, when they first were freshmen, that's when I took over. So these kids have adapted to the attitude, the mantra, why not us? We're just trying to bring, put Key back on the map and can stay consistent like we did last year.
I was just going to say, you kind of did that last year. It was a good season. Maybe surprised some people, and it probably didn't surprise you, and we can talk about that. But that playoff win against Century on the road to shut out a team that was having one of its best seasons in a long time.
Yeah.
Amazing season.
That was a statement that you guys made. And then you go to Middletown and hang with the Knights, who are always a good power. You had the lead in that game early on.
Yes, sir.
Not the way you wanted to end it, but overall a tremendous year, and you had to feel pretty good about what you got coming back, even though you did graduate some guys.
Yeah.
Pretty excited about what 2024 did for you guys.
Yes, we had a good season. I added some great additions to the coaching staff too to help me out. Having Coach Krause as my mentor and adding Coach Ronnie Bernard and the guys who've been with me. But it's a testament to the kids. The kids buy in. They're great. They're great students as well. So we're just trying to stay consistent with the big guys, in the county, and and us being an underdog like we've been, we just want to be consistent, and just the whole shape of this county is amazing, and all the coaches are great, and all the athletes are amazing too.
So when you start on day one, obviously you've been working with students over the summer. You've been doing some activities, organized training activities. I know you all did 7-on-7, certain lifting, conditioning, but here's where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah.
So when you first addressed the team earlier this morning, what is your statement? It's not different than what you've been saying all summer, but it's now a different environment because now it's not just, all right, we're preparing for the start of the season. We're now at the start of the season. What are some things you want to make sure that you stress from the very first day?
We stress attitude. Attitude, reflects leadership here. So, from the beginning in December, I had the guys that are going to be seniors like George, Riley, and Chase. We sat at the board, and they wrote down goals. We wrote down 5 goals to have as a team, and theirs was to, obviously win county and stuff, but remain consistent and play together the whole time and build this family unit that we have. and stay cohesive and stay together. But also, we stress the fact of nobody's bigger than anybody. We're all one. We all put on the same white helmets. We all walk down. We touch the eagle. So, we just got to fight and continue to fight and remain consistent to compete.
During tryouts and also through the season, how much of an emphasis do you put on process over results? Obviously, results, you don't always have full control of results because you got an opponent too who plays a role in that. But process is so important. You want to make sure you're doing things the right way. And how much of an emphasis today as well as throughout the season do you put on process is so important and results will follow?
Oh yes, that's what we follow. And the process starts from how you walk in here in the beginning of the morning. I'd sit there and tell them, leave your ego outside the door when you walk in the locker room. And that starts off, and that leads to the wins and no false starts and staying consistent. So the small thing, that's the one thing that I didn't do my first 2 years is emphasize the small details. But, and I'm not trying to bring him up because I already know he's probably back there smiling. But Coach K taught me that the small things matter. And, having him in here has really helped me a lot and let me grow as a man, and the fact that I'm 35 now and I'm getting older. And, it's
do tell.
It's really helping. No, it's really helping me. And even the other coaches in the county, being able to pick their brain, and they've all been successful, every one of them. So them, being the big brothers to me, it's really helped me out a lot.
Yeah, you played in this county, you coached at other schools in this town before you got here, and you've always spoken so highly about the guys who helped you get here. And now you're here, and you mentioned the goals on the board and winning the county, and that's not something maybe Francis Scott Key had as a goal last several years, just because of going up the hill, going up against the big boys, like you say, the Westminsters, the South Carroll when they had their run, and Liberty, of course. You're with them now. I mean, again, you just talked about the little things, and how many times did you and I talk last couple of years, if we just had to have that personal foul on that one drive, if we hadn't had that false start. You didn't do that as much last year.
No.
You take that and run with it this year. You feeling like you're in a better spot on this first day than you were a year ago.
Way better spot. Way better spot. And that goes to the kids. George Taku and Chase Raplogle and Riley Fitzgibbons, they really led us, and that started in December. We lost against Middletown, and the next day they were in the weight room with me, 6 a.m. So they're the testament. They motivate me to drive, but the fact that they got even the 8th graders coming in, because they'll go up to the Junior Eagles and help them out, and now the 8th graders we got coming in, they're buying in too. So we're just all trying to stay consistent, hit the ground running, and just work.
You're smiling on this first day too.
Yeah, this the best first day I've had in 4 years, man. I'm just excited to be back.
I
know the other coaches are happy, but it's just a blessing to be here.
Yeah. All right, we'll let you go. We'll bring in George, but good luck this year, Coach.
Thank you so much. Good luck,
Francis
Coach.
Scott Key. We'll set that down. We'll bring in George for a little bit, and then we'll get out of the sun, I think, after that. So,
I think that might be a plan.
Yeah. George, how you doing, man?
How you doing, George?
George, good to see you. Well, pick that up for me. Coach mentioned the goals on the board, and he said you were one of the guys who put some goals down. What got you to that moment? What last year? What about last year made you excited for this year?
Last year, making me excited for this year is that we definitely took strides, as you could tell. From my sophomore year, we went 1-9. To this past year, we went with 6-5, and then the games that we lost, there were some games we shouldn't have lost that we lost, and then there was the playoff game against Middletown, obviously, and just honestly, like sophomore year going against Middletown, it was kind of like lambs to a slaughter. There wasn't a lot of people holding their head up, but this year it was like we held our own.
Yeah, oh, no doubt about it. And that playoff win on the road against Century, the way you guys handled that game, that was a huge statement game. We were there for a special game of the week. Did that give you the confidence? I mean, again, it did, I know the next week it didn't end the way you wanted to, but that game right there, to finish the season how you did and then get a win in the playoffs, it has to boost for the guys coming back like yourself, and you mentioned Riley and Chase Raplogle and your quarterback, Jacob Etzler. Got to be a huge boost. Hey, we know how to put this together. We almost did it again against Middletown. What are we going to do next year? I can't wait to get started. That's the feeling?
100%. Every single game in our heads in this county should be like that Century playoff game, where it's a shutout, high scoring. We're moving the ball. That goal line stand we had, like this shouldn't even, That's how we're thinking about the county coming this year.
Teams always like to talk about, we're a family, we're together. But sometimes that's words, sometimes it's action and so forth. What do you do as a leader on this team to bring everybody together? And, what are some things you're thinking so that you can ensure everybody stays on the same page? Because nothing can derail a good season like drama.
Yeah.
So how do you help to minimize that as a leader on this team?
To be honest, there was a solid amount of you could use the words drama. There was some of that last year, but this year, when you bring up that family word, it kind of just comes naturally with the fact that a lot of these boys I grew up playing rec with, 8th grade, Chase Replogo, Riley Fitzgibbon, Jacob Betzler's been my QB since like 3rd grade or something. So it's like
It's a good connection.
naturally that family stuff, going out, grabbing something to eat, just doing everything together, you know, not just.
And then how do you then you've got a bunch of 9th graders who this is the first time they've really been a student at Francis Scott Key. Now, granted, we don't start classes until after Labor Day, but this is the first time they've been a student stepping on the campus. They're no longer 8th graders. So how do you ensure that because most of them aren't going to play on the varsity, so what do you do as seniors, as leaders, to help them belong?
I'll say this, the first thing that we can't even control is that they got to want it. And a lot of these freshmen, they want it. So if that makes it easier for us to step up and show them the way, because we're just here to show them the way. I'll tell them, hey, you do this drill, here's a little tip, get it done faster. Want to listen to this, do that. And the main thing is just them wanting it and then us helping them get to where they want to.
Because I think one of the really easy things is, again, as the upperclassmen, to kind of flex your muscle and let them know, I've been here, I've been through this, I'm in charge. But you all really do a much better job of bringing them and making them a part.
Yeah.
So, how do you go about that mindset, and how do you remind and encourage the rest of your upperclass teammates to make sure that everyone belongs?
It's small things like when we're starting practice. Like I'm pretty sure here when we're getting into shells, we're going to have at least 1, maybe 2 practices where varsity's with the JV, helping them along. We got the JV guys, the running back. Elijah Dawson might be on JV. He's one of the mentees I got. So that's running back personally, someone I'm trying to train to take over when I'm gone.
Awesome.
What last thing to let you go, because you just had a long practice early in the morning. The first day is different than any other day, right? And obviously you had 7-on-7. Wow, that's a crazy bug. You had 7-on-7 drills, and you had OTAs and getting ready for this first day. You got to get up early in the morning today. No one wants to do that, but I can tell, I just kind of feeling here that you guys were really, really pumped about today. And you got to try to keep some of that bottled up till the season starts. But why is today so different and so special? Your last one, by the way, your first day.
My last one. I will say there's a difference because we've been coming out as a team all year, but I woke up today and my phone is kind of blowing up. Everybody was hyped to come out. And I'll say the big difference is the fact that it is everybody. Like, if we're being serious, some of those non-mandatory 7-on-7s where it's just player-led, not everyone showed up, but now you come out here, there's a solid amount of kids, the energy's up. It's so much easier to keep the energy when you got a lot of people to rely on.
It's the real deal too, right? It starts today, September 5th. You got to get there, and today's the first day. So continued success, stay healthy, George, and we'll see you during the season.
We'll do. See you during the season.
Thanks a lot. Good luck this year, man. Appreciate it.
Best of luck.
George
Thanks for making time for
Francis
us.
Scott Key. A cicada joined us there in a minute there. We'll let George get some water, and you and I can wrap this up. We would expect that from all the schools.
Yes.
We expect it from Francis Scott Key. I think just what we just did there with our guests and from FSK football and Ryan Kimball, the AD, just kind of shows you what the first day really means to everybody.
It is. It's, we talk about it all the time, but I think it shows better from the people who are in the trenches of this day.
Absolutely.
And neither you nor I are doing that anymore. We're kind of, on the periphery reporting about it. But for them, it really means a lot. It means so much to be out here and having that opportunity. And you can hear George. He's embracing the opportunity. This is his final first day of high school sports. And it's an exciting chance to kind of leave his mark on Francis Scott Key. Coach Dave Cunningham, same thing. He talked about his progression as a coach and a man and what has gotten him to this point. And it's really exciting. That's what high school sports is about, and I love the fact that they're able to articulate it so much better than you or I ever could.
Absolutely, and he's a wise old man now. He's 35. That was a shot to the gut.
A little bit,
but that's the way it goes with Coach Cunningham, and we'll see them on the field here soon enough. And again, I know it's a long time away, but it'll be here before we know
Correct.
it. Labor Day will have come and gone, and things start for real, except for golf, which can start earlier. Things start for real for Carroll County Fall Sports on September 5th, and looking forward to it as always.
As am I.
This was fun to do it out here live like this.
It was. I'm looking for the air conditioner next time.
I am too.
Okay.
We'll get Brandon to bring us the air conditioning fan.
I think that's a good plan.
All right, and we'll do this again. And until we do, I'm Pat Stetzer.
And I'm Michael Duffy.
And this has been The Score.
And more.